wear nut huggers.
What?
Nut huggers.
What is that?
Murder birds wear, Murder Hawks wear nut huggers.
Oh, you said it so actually. Anyway, since they took away the title, the deal is off.
No.
You're still Murder Bird.
No.
Murder Bird! Watch
No.
it on AEW,
Murder birds wear nut huggers.
That's some sort of swear, yes?
Dunhausen wear nut huggers?
Yeah, well, who knows? You got wonderful pants on. Just like, oh, your pants
Shit!
Ah, no swearing!
No. Can I have my present back? Dunhausen. Dunhausen. Dunhausen!
Wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! This contest is scheduled for one fall. About to come down the aisle, your host, Doug Minders, and Tim Utter. It's the Matt Marks Podcast. And profile.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Matt Marks Podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I am Dog by Harris. I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Tim Cutter. How you guys
Yay.
doing today? Yay. We're trying to do this show on the fly, and actually, I don't know, not a whole lot's happened, but, I mean, we could bullshit about wrestling regardless.
Yeah, I mean, a big news happened, but it's kind of something that we knew at one point was inevitable with the AEW New Japan Super Show. But yeah, other than that, it's been a rather slow week slow 2 weeks in wrestling.
Well, yeah, and honestly, I'd kind of started giving up a little bit on the Super Show, to be honest, because I'd heard that Kenny had some issues with New Japan and it'd been pretty quiet, and I felt like AEW was trying to build relationships with every other Japanese company out there. So I kind of felt like they were just falling on deaf ears with New Japan. But
I mean, it's been documented that the Bucks and Kenny and Rocky tried to work something out with New Japan. You know, with Rocky being the actual middleman between the two. Now that Kenny and the Bucks were leaving the company. And I guess the folks over in Japan, over in Tokyo, just were not feeling it at the moment. They were kind of I think they were pretty butthurt that the Bucks and Kenny were leaving, and from touring with them every now and again, that's why they didn't want to do it. And then now that things have settled, a new president has come in. Now they've kind of taken a different look at the whole ordeal now that it's been a couple of years.
well, and AEW is doing a lot better, and I know it's good for business,
Yeah, for sure.
What kind of matches do you hope to see out of this? I don't follow New Japan all that much. It's kind of, honestly, besides this is going to sound kind of racist or stupid, but I really don't get into the Japanese style of wrestling. I like a lot of the American wrestlers that are over there currently, but aside from a couple of the Japanese wrestlers, I don't like it. And it's,
yeah, and I get that.
I like Shinsuke, and I like the dude that's been making his rounds in AEW. It's kind of old, but I just got into him. He's kind of a Japanese legend, and just now I'm learning of him. What's his name again? The guy fought Mox and just fought Joe. You there?
Yeah, we're having technical difficulties.
Oh, what was that guy's name that fought Mox and
Onita?
Onita, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you were breaking up there for about a 30-second span for me. So I was trying to move my phone around, and then took it off Wi-Fi and was okay, then I got you right at the end. So
yeah,
I had a feeling you were talking about Onita, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, I like him. Trying to think of who else I like. I mean, I think if I watched more of it, I would probably like more of it. It's just,
I mean, it's very wrestling driven, and a lot of folks that like the spectacle of the segments and this and that, you know, they're not going to get that as much in New Japan. Like they're going to go wrestle a match, then they come down the stairs after the match and they cut like a 3-minute promo, and like then it's gone. And like that's your character development or whatever they do. You know, like you just got to appreciate wrestling. So I think that's, you know, why, at least that's why I like it, because, you know, that the gimmick stuff, the character building or whatever, the WWE is fine. It's just not my cup of tea. I like the actual wrestling. You know what I mean?
Well, I do too. I don't like characters. You know, I like characters that are like people and that I can relate to. You know,
well, no, I get that, but I mean, but they cut like an 8-minute segment between.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Dolph Ziggler and freaking Robert Roode, and then in comes Omos, and there's like, you know, an 8-minute segment between those guys. It's like, that's never going to happen in a New Japan thing. It's going to be match ends.
Yeah.
Match, you know, new match starts, new match ends, and you don't see any of that promo stuff until after the whole show has been finished, and then it's usually on the internet.
AEW's done a real good job at reeling that shit in. I think they realize that their fans like more of a style like you, but for a minute they were getting real fucking bad at the whole
constant segments back.
Yeah, I mean, and I like a few too. You know, don't get me wrong. You know, I like storylines, like shit like that too. But like, I also like a good wrestling match. Like WWE is fucking way too much talking, and it's not even good. That's part of it. Is like not like back in the Attitude Era when it was like good shit. You know,
yeah, when 50 dudes could talk. Now it's like 4 guys can talk. Like, and you're comfortable to, you know, 4 guys per show. I mean, not 4 guys in the
guys can probably talk. They probably talk just fine, but they're so fucking scripted and controlled that all their shit sucks, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that. But I mean, but like I said, whatever character they're trying to have this dude play, and they're not able to get behind it, you know, it just makes it kind of very lackluster.
Well, and they don't follow through on shit either. They don't like let a character sit. You know, if it's not working, they pull the plug on it, change the dude's name, take his last name off, and just make him go by his first name or change his name to whatever. It's fucking stupid, you know. And
although I was gonna say the Elias Ezekiel thing has been kind of entertaining with KO.
I thought it was gonna be dumb as shit, but that just proves how good he is.
Right.
You know, this is like when Sandow did the Mrs. Stunt Double. Like I absolutely loved that because it was so ridiculously stupid. It was fantastic. Well, Ezekiel and Elias, man, he reminds me so much of Sandow. Yeah, he reminds me so much of him, and he always has. And I have a feeling his fate's going to be similar.
He's going to be a comedy wrestler till he gets released.
Exactly, but hopefully, I mean, hopefully he gets picked up because he's good and underappreciated, man. Yeah,
no, I get that, but his time in WWE is going to be a gimmick, goofy wrestler because he does a pretty good job at it.
Well, and like I said, you know, and that just proves how good he is because this should be stupid. You know, it was like Cody when Cody did Stardust. That proves how good he is. You know,
right? That Stardust got over as much as he fucking hated that gimmick.
Well, yeah, and like it should have been stupid. You know. Yeah. It was stupid, but he made it good, you know.
But he made it good, yeah.
So that just shows. I mean, it gave me a new respect for Elias. I've always liked Elias and thought he was underappreciated, you know.
He wasn't anything flashy in the ring. I think that was the biggest my biggest grievance towards him is like he didn't. I mean, he has an okay look, you know, 5'10", 6 foot. 220, 230 pounds, somewhere in that range, you know, but there's nothing sexy about his moveset. There's nothing over the top that he does. He works like a guy that's built the way he's built. He does a good job at it, but there's nothing.
Check this out though. Like, let's be fair though. Are you thinking about the shit that he's done in WWE or the shit that he did in NXT? Because the shit he did in NXT would be right up there, in my opinion, with like an FTR style, something like that, because they gave him more time.
Yeah, I'm looking more at his WWE run more than his NXT run.
Yeah, because they don't let him do shit there. You know, like most of his matches were squash matches, 5 minutes bullshit, guitar matches, stupid shit. You know, he had some really good matches in NXT.
Yeah, I for whatever reason, I don't remember his run in NXT all that much.
Yeah, he was good in NXT, man. I think that
Because he was Elias Sampson or whatever then, right?
yeah, he kind of had the same shtick, but he was taken a little more seriously. He was more of a badass, like drifter guy, you know. And then once he got to WWE, of course, they made it stupid. Like he'd interrupt people, and the Undertaker had come and fucking, you know, whatever.
Yeah. I do remember highlights of his NXT run, so I do take that back.
But yeah, he's not, you're right, he's not flashy, but he's good in like a Flair sense or a fucking FTR sense.
Yeah, but I still think they're a little bit above where Elias would be, but I get exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, and I think too, man, if you saw him someplace else, like you might see a different side of him, you know.
More freedom. Yeah, no, I
don't think he's ever had a match where he was like, hey, let's go balls out, you know. Like he's never had a Tommaso match. Like put him in the ring with a Tommaso for like fucking 30 minutes and see what happens. You know, right. Put him in the ring with somebody who's worth the shit that'll make him go, you know.
Yeah, so to me that's a wrestler.
Watch this shit with Owens. We might see a good fucking match come out of him because Owens is pretty big on him, I think, and that might be why he's getting so much attention. It's because Owens is kind of like, he's kind of one of Vince's boys now. And that might be a good thing.
I've noticed that.
That might be a good thing. Because Kevin Owens has been to fucking Ring of Honor. He's been to fucking New Japan. He's great, you know, and they've kind of fucked his character up and they kind of made him suck. But he also has the potential to maybe influence them to do some shit that's good, you know?
Yeah.
And if they let him and Elias have 20 fucking minutes, it might show you something different, you know?
Right. Yeah, I just watched highlights that just randomly popped up online the other day of El Generico and Kevin Steen from Ladder Wars 1, I believe. Maybe it was Ladder Wars 2. But back in 2012 when they went at it, what a very entertaining match that was. I hope, you know, Elias not as athletic as Sammy, but it'd be fun if they were able to let him let loose, let them beat the shit out of each other, you know, in that style.
I mean, that's kind of match you'd probably be looking at as a match where they beat the shit out of each other, you know.
Right. Couple spots, but just beat the fucking piss out of each other, walk out battered and bruised, and just go to fucking war. And I'd be on board with that.
Kevin Owens is one of those guys. I want to see him leave that company, but then again, it's like they almost need a third fucking brand of wrestling that's equally as good as like AEW out there, because there's so many good wrestlers right now that AEW is not even using all of their shit to the full potential, you know, and this sucks, but
yeah, right. I mean, that's kind of what we're hoping, you know, happens with Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess we'll see what happens, but right now I'm not super impressed.
Yeah, I'm not. I think they're still trying to work out something with Warner Media about getting Ring of Honor TV, and I think there's a snag there, or the process is slow. There hasn't really determined what the deal is, but they just said that AEW officials have reached out to Warner Media about getting Ring of Honor TV, and that's all that has pretty much been disclosed.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to see Ring of Honor TV come back, but I also want to see some of the Ring of Honor guys come back. I don't want to just see a bunch of AEW guys that they're not using that I don't really like. You know, I'd like to see Dalton Castle. I'd like to see Taven there, but I know a lot of these guys are in Impact now.
Yeah. There's seven or eight guys in Impact, but Beer City Bruiser and freaking what's the big dude's name? Totally drawn a blank. Anyways, Brian Malonis. Yeah, I want to see those guys, you know, and in there. I want to see, you know, like I said, Vinny's over there in Impact, but a lot of the just every Rush, whatever his name was, from Los Ingobernables de whatever faction is in Spanish. My Spanish is terrible. But anyways, you know, want to see a bunch of those guys make their way back to Ring of Honor and get utilized instead of let them kind of fade off into the distance.
Yeah, and they're a big part of the reason I want to put it on Impact a little more is because the Impact's got a pretty good roster right now.
Right.
You know, they're kind of honestly, they're kind of like WWE in some ways, but they're just hit or miss. Some of their shit is super stupid and some of their shit is really good, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So yeah, I'd probably try to put that on a little more. It's just hard to find the time, man. You know?
That's that's the thing is like I probably have the time, but do I want to sit and dedicate it, to 2 hours of watching wrestling, even if it is DVR'd?
Well, shit.
Right?
Even when I do watch it, I'm not watching it all that much.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
it's
Like
got to be
I do have
really
the,
good to hold my attention these days.
yeah, right. I mean, even I catch myself and Melanie, we'll bring up our phones a little bit during AEW and playing on our phone, just kind of glancing up every now and again at what's going on the screen. But if it's somebody in the ring that, like you said, there's folks that are being utilized that I don't really care about. If it's a match like that, then yeah, then excuse me, then
Exactly.
the phone, because I'm not 100% grabbed by everything the company's doing at the moment, but they're who I like the most at the moment.
Yeah, that's me too. I really do dig them though. And honestly, man, I can't shit completely on WWE. I hope they keep this momentum up because, like we've talked about, like I don't want WWE to fail. Like, or
Right.
I don't want them to be bad in my opinion. I want them to be something I want to watch selfishly. Everything's better in pairs, man, and everything's better when there's two because it's like this is how I can compare it. In Hepner, when the economy really went to shit there and everything kind of went down to one business because the population shrunk. It kind of sucked because the customer service in some of those businesses went to shit,
Right.
because there was no competition. Those customers are going to go to that bar. They're going to go to that store regardless.
It's
Because
the only place that's open. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I feel like everything's better in pairs for that because you need a competition a little bit to help you hold your standards higher,
Yeah, exactly. Make you strive to be better instead of get comfortable. And then it's like, then you get in the same monotonous shit and why people fall out of in love with X, Y, or Z, whether it's they fall out of love with a spouse, they fall out of love with a fucking sport, they fall out of love with this or that. You know what I mean? There's tons of different things that they can fall out of love with if it gets stale, and competition does not keep it from being stale. Competition, keeps it fresh, keeps it new, keeps them want to do cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've been really happy with how they're treating Cody. And one thing I did think about is like when they gave him $3 million, like I was like, they're not going to give him. I mean, even Vince, with as much money as he has and as big of a prick as he is, Vince isn't going to give Cody $3 million and then not use him.
Oh no, most definitely.
Like he knew he fucked up. And I don't know if we talked about this on the last show, but Vince went to Cody's house.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, he's never done that. He said usually he'll send the plane for somebody and fly him up to Stanford, but he went to Cody's house, so he knew he fucked up. That was I think that was Vince's version of grabbing the fucking brass ring, in my opinion. Yeah, like I think he was definitely. Like that guy grabbed the brass ring, And,
right.
And I think too, like Cody kind of made comments like he said he fucked up when he took himself out of the title picture for AEW. And he said Andy he just didn't like being in the back like he thought he would. He likes being a wrestler, and I think that maybe once Cody gets more of the wrestling out of his system, he might go back to it like Dusty. Dusty did the same shit, I think, where he'd be in the back for a while. Then he would fucking be in the ring for a while, and I think Cody's just like feeling out where he wants to be. And honestly, I'm not as upset about him going to WWE as I was in the beginning. And to be honest, if you look at it, we talked about this. If Tony Khan didn't want to give Cody CM Punk or Daniel Bryan money, he had every right to fucking walk out.
Yeah, most definitely.
Cody helped build that fucking company, man. And so did the Bucks and Omega, So if he wanted, if Tony Khan, I would have done the same thing, especially if Vince McMahon's offering me $3 million to come back to WWE.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't offer him, he didn't offer him the big money, even though, like you said, he put this company on his shoulders when they first got things rolling. I mean, it was, like you said, Kenny, Bucks, Jericho, Cody were kind of the catalyst of this whole thing. Jericho was the big name, and Kenny and the Bucks and Cody were the EVPs. They were basically Tony's right hand man, and yeah, you didn't want to compensate your right hand man. You took privileges away, and then you didn't want to offer him the money. Like, I agree with you. It's just shitty because I always think about the promos, and I get lost in the promo side of things about the Revolution. But then I'm like, no, you kind of got fucked in the long run of this thing. But maybe you do have the right to throw up the deuces and head home, as they're calling it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and then too, the product for AEW has got significantly better since Tony's taken those privileges away from them, though.
It has.
So I kind of can see both ends of it, but and maybe and we talked about this on another episode. Maybe Cody was being a pain in the ass in the back. I'd read some shit. Who knows what's real, what's fake, but I don't know. It's probably somewhere in the middle. I bet I bet Cody's got some rights to be pissed, and Tony does as well. And to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if Cody ends up back there sometime, once the dust settles and, a few years go by. I think he's locked into a 3-year contract right now.
Yeah, I know he wants to wrestle till he's 40. So, I mean, he could do his couple his stint here in WWE and then go back to WWE or go back to AEW for a year and finish out where he helped build the company.
Well, yeah, and then Tony
know.
might be able to talk him into like a 3-year contract too, and give him what he wants. Because by then, Punk ain't got a lot of fucking gas in the tank.
No.
And
do you see 6 years in him from where he's currently at? Let's say 5 years, because let's say he's been in AEW about roughly a year.
Maybe
he got 5 years in him. You think?
Maybe. I mean, but I don't see too much more than that.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I said maybe, but I don't see him having too much more. Did he sign a 6-year contract or something?
No. But they usually sign 3 years, and then they can then opt into another 3 years. Basically, what I was getting at.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I hope that they take Punk and put him in a scene in like a spot in the back.
Has he ever kind of been in that role before?
I don't know.
That role?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I think that he would be good at it, just by hearing him talk about his love for wrestling and shit, you know. And I think he'd inspire a lot of those guys. And here's another thing too. Cody and CM Punk did not really care for each other all that much. Remember early on in the days of AEW when people were talking about CM Punk going there? There was an episode, or there was a Q&A on the Jericho cruise where Cody basically like verbally assaulted CM Punk. Like,
really?
Yeah, I just was like talking shit about how like everybody like how he wasn't as loved in the WWE locker room as he said he was. Like,
okay.
He's like, I don't know. He kind of assigned himself as the leader of the locker room, is what Cody said. But like nobody, like, cause I guess like he came in and was bitching. Cause like one time, like Cody was telling a story about how CM Punk came in and was like, this locker room's a fucking pigsty. Like, you guys need to pick up after yourselves. And I guess like Randy Orton took his fucking tape off his wrist and threw it on the fucking floor and just looked at Punk. Like, what are you going to fucking do about it? Like, but Cody was like, Randy Orton's not like that, but he was just so fucking tired of fucking Punk walking around being a dickhead that he was like, fuck you,
Right.
But yeah, like I don't think they necessarily hate each other, but I don't think they're real huge fans of each other. So it probably put a bitter taste in Cody's mouth when all that happened,
Yeah, but Cody had to have known it was inevitable I felt like it was inevitable they were going to get him, because it was a major company on TV that was not WWE.
Yeah, for sure. And I felt like it was too, but and maybe Cody did know, but Cody just expected to be put on a higher pedestal. It's really shitty is that we didn't get to see CM Punk and Cody feud. I said it from the get-go. I wish Cody would have turned heel and they could have had a great feud.
Right.
Cody would have been a great fucking heel, man. He's a good heel. I don't understand why he wants to be this John Cena type,
Because I think AEW was his baby, so he didn't want to be the heel of the company. He wanted to continue to be the face of the company.
Well, the thing is it's just like, fuck, man. Everybody hated Cena for that. And you're not John Cena. You don't have the charisma that he does. So you're not going to walk out of there and get acting jobs like John Cena got. You know, you might get a few, but you're like a Randy Orton kind of actor. You know, yeah. Maybe that's what appealed to him. Maybe he wants to go do the Marine Part 12 with WWE or something, you know?
Yeah, right.
Because that's about as good as Cody's acting skills are. Like, I can't even hardly stand watching him on any show, you know, except wrestling.
Yeah, like I've only seen him on the CW, The Arrow, when he played a bad guy on that, and he didn't have many lines. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and I thought he was supposed to be on heels, but he wasn't. So I wonder if they cut him out of there.
Huh.
CM Punk was on heels, and his character was great.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. We still haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you got to watch it, man. It's good.
Yeah, Melanie keeps telling me, she's like, "Oh, we need to watch it. We need to watch it. We love Stephen Amell. You need to watch it." And I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
And they got that dude from the Vikings on there too. It's good, man. It's really good.
The dude from the Vikings is Stephen Amell's brother or whatever in the show.
Yeah. It's really good, man. I dug it. I can't wait for season 2.
Nice. Yeah. Well, it's on our queue of things to watch. We just need to start watching shit.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So, okay, let's talk about Bret Hart, man. This is some people are saying this report's bullshit. It's from Meltzer. The only person that's reporting this is Meltzer. And Meltzer, I guess, has been wrong quite a bit lately about WWE shit because but he might not be on this case because he has got his tongue up Tony Khan's ass. So Tony Khan might be telling him like, hey, this isn't happening. I'll tell you right now, I'd be pretty disappointed though if Bret Hart did this. Like I was reading a story about it, and it really made a lot of sense. Like I can kind of get it from both ends, you know, but Bret signing a Legends deal kind of just really, I don't know. I feel like it kind of shits on Owen's legacy, you know?
So I think the timing is just bad. And I don't know if one company was trying to upstage the other, but what I saw is in the brink of the Owen Hart tournament, there is going to be a Hart's biography or some shit like that on A&E that Martha Hart is basically handcuffing WWE and able to use Owen stuff. So I guess there's some big old strife there. So it's a heart strife that is now kind of vomiting itself onto both the company's TV to an extent.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. Well, you know, fuck, Martha's got every fucking right to fucking freeze them out, man. And they killed her fucking husband and didn't take any responsibility.
Is you should see Twitter, because Twitter has the complete opposite opinion. I'm on board with, I think Martha Hart has all the right to do whatever the fuck she wants with her deceased husband's likeness and this and that. But you should see fucking WWE Twitter. It's ridiculous. They're like, Martha doesn't have any right to do that. Bret does, because Bret and him know each other inside and out from their time in the Hart Foundation, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, holy shit balls. You guys are so lost in the wrestling that you can't look past the wrestling to this woman's grieving about her fucking dead husband fucking 30 years later.
Yeah, and her fatherless children, you know,
yeah, right?
that absolutely hate the business because they kept their fucking dad away and then killed him, you know? And if you watch that Dark Side of the Ring, dude, apparently those guys haven't watched that fucking Dark Side of the Ring. Jesus Christ. Like, they should have known better, man. They should have fucking known better than to send him down on that thing. That's ridiculous, man.
Right. Yeah, like, it's just, but it's just wild, like how these E-drones fucking think. And it's just like, holy shit, like, have some compassion, you fucking scumbags.
Oh, and then on top of that, like, Vince completely knew he fucked up and tucked tail and ran and like sent JR to Owen's funeral to represent the company. And they were basically like, that, like, JR basically got treated like shit there, you know?
I think I remember watching that episode.
Yeah, like JR was like, it was like the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Like, and he was like, basically like, it was fucking kind of bullshit, you know?
Right.
And then they gave him some bullshit settlement, you know, like, so it's just like, why the fuck would they, you know? And I feel like Bret, I don't know, man. AEW, I'm glad that they're doing all that shit to honor Owen, man. I wish Bret would put his heels in and be like, fuck you, I'm going to go over here. But also, you know what? We don't know what Bret's financial situation looks like. It might not be good. you know, and I doubt Tony's going to offer him what Vince did. And Vince owes Brett a bone, you know. Vince fucked Brett over so many fucking times and killed his brother, so he should be taking his money. But I feel like Brett should have the freedom to do whatever he wants, you know. If they want him to present the Owen Hart trophy, he should be able to do that, you know.
Right.
And honestly, man, I would like to see Natty go over to AEW for a while before she retires. That's what I was thinking the other day before all this shit happened. I was like, it would be so cool if Brett joined up with AEW and like pulled Natty over.
Yeah,
because
right.
that women's division could really benefit from somebody like Natty, you know?
Right.
And it would be cool to just see her because she's probably, honestly, even though she's not a champion, she's one of the biggest names in as far as women wrestling goes.
I think she's number 7.
Yeah, but really, I mean, like, if you think about active women wrestlers, like, how many more are actually like more popular? And I'm saying active, like the Bellas aren't active, you know, fucking.
I'm thinking the Charlotte, Sasha, Bailey, freaking Becky are one tier above her. And then Ronda's kind of probably in that mix. Bianca Belair's in that mix.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley, and then maybe Natty.
Really? Well, I mean, I think honestly, man, I think you're thinking about talent and shit, you know, and you're not thinking about like an actual name. Like, okay,
you're saying like lovability or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking of an actual name, like, and not so much talent, you know. And I think Natty's trained a lot of those girls too, you know. So,
right.
And that's why I think she would be good in AEW.
I understand where you're coming from. I agree with that concept of how you're saying it. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's people out there. I guess what I'm trying to say is like there's people out there that know who Natty is, but don't know who Bianca Belair is or Ripley. You know, that's what I'm getting at.
I get that,
dude. I wish they'd do something with Rhea, man. I'm bummed. She's so fucking hot and so fucking good at what she does. Like, how do you have her main event of WrestleMania and then fucking not have her do shit for 2 years? You know,
right? Yeah, because her and Liv are splitting up though, right?
I don't know. They've been doing this thing where they're going back and forth, and they were kind of doing like a lesbian thing. Like that was like everybody's like, oh, they're gonna do this. Like it's supposed to be some groundbreaking fucking bullshit. Well, I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee real quick.
Yep.
I'll pause this for a sec.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they should do more with Rhea, I guess. But
right.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm pretty torn on that whole thing with Brett. I really feel like Tony Khan would give him enough money to make a decent living if he went and did like a backstage role there. Maybe he doesn't want that kind of schedule or something too, you know, but yeah, I feel like, I don't know. Brett would be probably more useful than Sting.
In the backstage capacity?
Yeah. You know. I mean, you know what I love though? I was thinking this the other day. As much as I kind of shit on the whole Sting thing, I love seeing him out there having just a good time.
I know, right? And he's so like quick to take those dives in the balcony nowadays.
Yeah, and me and Melanie were actually talking the other day because when he got up on the fucking ropes, I was like, dude, like I thought he was gonna like I was like, stop doing this now, like quit while you're ahead, because
right.
He did that dive off the ropes the other day. I was like, fuck, don't, like, because he almost lost it, man. They panned the camera because they thought that's how bad it was. They panned the camera because they thought he was gonna botch it, and then he pulled it off somehow. But yeah, he's just, I love how he pops up out of nowhere. He just looks like he's having such a good time out there with Darby, you know?
You know, and he gets to no sell a bunch of stuff, which is always, you know, it's always been entertaining as a Stinger to watch him no sell stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I used to kind of shit on it, but I think they've kind of found a really good stride, which probably means that it's probably time for them to end it somehow, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I guess when it's organically feels that way, but it doesn't bug me as much that he's with Darby now than it used to, you know?
Yeah. Because they're not really like a tag team. It's kind of like it almost feels like we're just two loners that got each other's backs.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, for sure.
like I at first I thought it was gonna be like a mentor student thing, but it doesn't even feel like a mentor student. It just
No. That was
loners that got each other's backs.
yeah. Sting is just like I don't know. Yeah, it feels like they just got each other. You're right. That's kind of how it goes. I feel like.
Like
I love how Sting just like pops up out of nowhere and shit. Like the other day when he pulled the mask off, like he's done that a million times. You knew it was gonna happen, but
it's always great and always pops every single time it happens.
yeah, that doesn't bug me as much as it used to. I was always kind of like, this is pointless, this is stupid, you know. But and then where else would you put Sting if he was in a role like that, you know?
Yeah, right.
And I guess one thing, what the fuck are they doing? Oh, here's one thing that bugs me is like they gotta quit fucking burying Lance Archer. We know what's gonna happen. Fucking, we know that fucking Wardlow's gonna beat Lance Archer. Like, when was the last time Lance won anything?
Yeah, it's been a while.
You know, it's like, and then I thought him and Jake broke up, and now they're still together. Like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, I don't really know what their relationship is. It's like
Because
they're all like an on again, off again thing.
well, I thought Jake was gonna like join up with MJF, and I was like, this could be interesting. And then you know, Lance Archer pops up. I'm like, I thought what the fuck? I thought they ended this whole fucking thing, you know. And then, yeah, I don't know. Like that's the shit that still bugs me. Is like they don't know what the fuck they're doing half the time.
Totally random, but I really want to see Jake in like a leather-esque, like python leather jacket. Just super over the top like that. I don't know why, but I just want to see that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I'm just like was just thinking about that. Like I want to see somebody in like a faux leather, but like have it be all python print.
Yeah. I really fucking hate. I really hate that they're burying Lance so much though. He should be like a fucking title holder, especially now that they got like 8 of them. They should better send his ass over like Ring of Honor or something.
Yeah, that or I mean, yeah, I don't really know where you put him title wise.
Yeah, because it's just I don't know. It's fucking annoying, man. Like he's so good, and they just here's fucking Wardlow. They could have used a million other fucking people for this role right now. You know,
right? I love Lance as a character, but I want to see him back as a tag team. I think he's more entertaining to me personally as a tag team wrestler.
Whatever they do with him, they need to fucking utilize him better. You know, because have him and Minoru Suzuki if he were to come to the States, you know, on a full-time basis, you know, and have him and Suzuki have a branch of Suzuki Gun over in AEW, you know, AEW / Ring of Honor, and take out the tag titles and run roughshod of the tag division for a while over there. I don't know, just random booking ideas. Yeah, I mean, whatever they do, they need to do something better because they just keep having them fucking job out to dudes, you know.
Right.
Wardlow, man, Wardlow's over right now, dude. I love watching this whole thing take place though, and he's getting good on the mic too, man.
Right.
Like I thought he'd be shitty on the mic, but he's good on the mic too, man. Like he doesn't need MJF. Like I think he's got it, you know.
Yeah. The only thing you wish is he was maybe like 2 inches taller and about 20 pounds heavier, like just so he could be like even more menacing a monster.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it's fine. I feel like it's fine. He's huge.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, like the Billy Guns of like the 90s where he was a 6'5", 6'6", 270-pound dude. Wardlow's built a little differently, 6'2", 260 or whatever. Just
really? Shit, I didn't know he was only 6'2". I feel like he was like fucking 6'5", you know?
No, I'm pretty sure 6'2", 6'3". I'm like 90% sure.
Fuck, I thought he was taller. Maybe just because they put him next to MJF all the time.
Yeah, and MJF's only like a 10-footer. I mean, a 5'10", right? Rather, I'm sorry, not 10-footer. 5 foot.
Yeah.
Wardlow, AEW. Yeah, 6'2", 267.
Jesus, so he's only like a couple inches taller than me. I thought he was bigger than that.
And then Max is like 5'11", like 220 pounds or 215 pounds.
So Max is probably about my size height wise then. But yeah, I don't know, man. I do like Wardlow. I thought he was fucking bigger than that though. He carries it good.
No, he carries it well, but that's because AEW wrestlers are are differently sized. You know, AEW wrestlers are 6'2", while a lot of WWE wrestlers are 6'4". You know what I mean?
Well, and they don't put him in the ring with guys like Billy Gunn. So
Yeah, they don't put
smart, you know.
Yeah.
So it was my on Cornette's podcast the other day. It was like Brian Last was like, I don't know what the fuck Billy Gunn's taking, but I want some of that. Like he's like, I want to look that good when I'm fucking 60.
He's what, 65, 66, some shit.
Something like that, yeah.
That's how good he looks. And he doesn't even look like an old man. He still
looks like Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
His hair's a little wider and his skin's a little rougher, but he still looks like fucking Billy Gunn, you know?
Doesn't look like an old man at all.
No, dude. Fuck, man. I love watching him and his kids, man. I hope they do something with the Gun Club. I think that's the cool thing about AEW is like people start getting over and you don't expect them, like people that you don't expect, you know, people that don't have a past, you know? Like you see like guys like Wardlow and like guys like the Gun Club, man. The Gun Club's getting over right now, man.
And they're super organic tag team. Yeah, it's been nice.
And I wonder what they're going to do with they got to do some kind of program with Danhausen soon, but Danhausen seems to be going with Hook now.
Yeah. Now I think after the Danhausen Hook thing, because it looks like Danhausen's going to be able to have his first match against Hook. You know, he looks like wrestling gear and made comments about wanting to fight him and instead of curse him.
Yeah, well, now they did the whole thing the other day where Danhausen stole Hook's chips.
Yeah.
Did you see that little piece?
Did you watch Friday night?
I didn't get a chance to.
So he's like, you got my attention.
Yeah, okay, that happened Friday.
We're gonna fight, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I did see that. So, and like that was like Hook sounded good. You know, Hook's still a guy I can't really get behind, especially with his stupid fucking hair.
I love his hair.
Really?
That not give a fuck, but not give a fuck look. I love it.
The problem is it's not like he gives a fuck though. Like because it's like straightened and hair sprayed out. Like it's like that's what I don't like about it. If he just let it go, I'd feel fucking different, you know. But like it's manicured to look like he doesn't give a fuck, you know.
Which is yeah, probably if you take a step back and see that it's kind of corny. But I guess in my head I didn't think about that. That
the other day I caught it, like when I caught a glimpse of it, like I could tell he had hairspray in it or fucking gel or something. I'm like, what the fuck, you know, like that looks dumb. You know, but people love him, man. There's a lot of those guys that I just don't get. It's kind of like music in a way where like you get a lot of bands where people are like, oh my God, they're so fucking amazing. And I'm like, I don't get it. You know, Hook's kind of that guy. Maybe someday he'll grab me, but everybody, man, Cornette, all the old school guys, the new guys, all of them are just fucking boasting about Hook.
Really?
Fucking, yeah, Bully Ray loves him. Like all the guys in the podcast love him. The old guys, new guys, fucking the AEW fans. You know,
I think a lot of the old guys are seeing Taz and Hook, and I think they're maybe nostalgia stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see Taz and Hook because Hook's just Taz is a fucking beast.
Well, no, but in the throws and stuff, they can be like, yeah, that's all pedigree from Taz. That's like a nostalgia thing for us.
Yeah, that's probably a lot of it. I think that's why Corny goes over the top for him too. It's like,
yeah, that's my guess.
And he is good in the ring. You know, it's just not believable to me. Like I said, I feel like Landon could kick his ass in real life, or at least give him a good run for the money.
Right. But I mean, I guess he's a legit fighter. Like
he is. Well, he was like, you know, he's a wrestler.
170 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, he's a legit wrestler. Like he had a good wrestling, like amateur career probably, or at least good high school career.
Yeah, and he's a rich kid too. I didn't realize because he plays lacrosse, and all lacrosse players are rich kids.
Yeah, well, obviously his dad's Taz. So
yeah, your dad, I guess you're kind of a rich kid at that point.
He looks like a rich kid. That's probably why I don't fucking like him. You know, he looks like a smug ass little rich kid.
Even though he's kind of trying to come off like a hard ass. Yeah,
exactly, man. But it is what it is, man. He's not. I mean, he's not awful, but like, I don't feel like. I don't know. I feel like he should be like on AEW Dark or something.
Right. So, Oh, you mentioned matchups earlier for the AEW New Japan show.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the New Japan stuff that's been going on local, like America-wise?
What's going on there?
So, Will Ospreay and Mox got a rivalry going on.
Okay.
It was actually pretty funny. So they had a good back and forth. Mox was all bloodied up, or Will was all bloodied up, one of the two. So they beat the shit out of each other pretty good. Well, Mox ended up hitting a curb stomp, and Will Ospreay kicked out of it. I think Mox ended up winning the match. Then Will cut his promo after the match and saying something about like, you think I would get pinned to your friend's pussy ass move? That's pretty funny. So I imagine there'll probably be some continuation between Will Ospreay and Mox. But
Do you
then,
think they do a
so many
tag match with Brian and Mox versus Ospreay and somebody else?
Oh yeah, with the a faction called the United Empire. So it's Will Ospreay, Great O'Khan, which is a guy who's been back from excursion for about 2 years. Jeff Cobb, TMDK, the not the ones that went to NXT, but I guess they had a bigger faction in Australia, which is like 6 dudes. So they all have the name The Mighty Must Die, or whatever the fuck the name of that tag team was, with Shane Haste and or Sean Thorne. Yeah, Sean Thorne and whatever the fuck the other dude's name was.
Oh, wow.
A few years ago. Anyways.
That sounds like a great faction, actually.
Yeah, it's like 6 dudes.
Osprey's good, man. And then you got Jeff Cobb. I forgot Jeff Cobb's over there, man. Jeff Cobb's great.
TJP is a part of that faction now too.
Really?
He's a part of the United Empire.
Wow. So they could do a lot with that.
Yeah. And
maybe they'll do a thing where the Mox's club starts building up more people to try to compete with them.
The Blackpool Combat Club versus United Empire.
Yeah.
That'd be.
Who do you think who else do you think they should recruit? I've heard that they might recruit Joe.
Oh, Joe would be cool.
Especially Joe could be the guy that matches up with Cobb.
Right. I'd be like, that'd be your last big name. Then I think you go for youngsters. And I think going after since Dante Martin got hurt again, go after Darius, go after Lee Moriarty, go after Brock, go after fucking Lee Johnson. I think you bring those 4 youngsters in and let them work underneath, but continue to develop as wrestlers. And I think you build a faction with the 8 of those dudes.
Yeah.
I think that's the way you go. And you try to build and go up against the United Empire at the AEW New Japan show.
Yeah, that would be good. I could see that, man, for sure.
And then they've talked about the Elite and the Bullet Club, obviously freaking forming an alliance. And then who would they go up against? Who are they fucking with?
FTR and somebody else, maybe.
Was it? No, who did Jay White help? Oh, it was it would be with Chaos. It would be with Okada and freaking Toro Yano and why can't I think of their names? Freaking Hiroki Goto. And
here's one thing I hope, though. I hope it doesn't just end up being a bunch of 5-man tag matches. You know?
Oh, I think there'll be dream matches, but I think there will be 2 or 3, 10-man tags.
Yeah.
Just because like that's New Japan tradition and that's how you get guys on TV at least. But I think there'll be 4 singles dream matches.
Okay.
I think. I mean, I could completely fucking wrong.
I mean, I'm sure it probably will be, but like, I just hope there's not too many of those tag matches. But you're right. How are you going to feature everybody without doing that?
I want to see freaking CM Punk and Hiroshi Tanahashi go at it 1-on-1. That's the match I want to see the most.
Is that the
Ace of New Japan?
Oh, you know who I thought that would go at it with CM Punk is
Ibushi?
Yeah. Or
Ibushi's hurt, or Kenta?
Kenta
wants that match. He's been saying it on Twitter.
For years.
Versus GT or G2S or whatever the fuck it's called. Like, one's the number 2 and one's fucking TO, but they're both a go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
yeah, They'd
that
be
match.
burning it up.
That'd be another great match. Kenta versus CM Punk. I'd be on board with that. Tanahashi could go up against fucking Hangman. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, there's a bunch of different choices, so it should be entertaining.
Yeah. So when is that? That's in next month?
June. Yeah, June sometime. So we're still in April. So yeah, June, 2 months from now.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting towards the ass into April though. So
yeah, like June 6th or June 23rd. I can't remember for some reason.
Okay.
It's one of those 2 dates. Those 2 dates have significance for me for some reason with wrestling.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. Even though I'm not a huge New Japan, it'll be fun though, you know.
Yeah. You know, and I don't
think GOP comes in. Who do you think GOP goes against? Maybe FTR?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Gorilla or GOD, not GOP.
Yeah. So GOD, have you seen anything that's going on with them?
Are they not in New Japan anymore?
They re-signed about 6-8 months ago to a new deal, but they are no longer a part of Bullet Club.
Oh, that's weird because they started it, right?
Yeah, well, Tama Tonga did. He was the last, or him and Bad Luck Fale were the last 2 remaining members, and now Tama, his brother Toalongo, and Jado were all kicked out of Bullet Club about a month ago, and they're now have joined forces with Tanahashi and kind of formed a main roster alliance. Because like in New Japan, you know, everybody's kind of affiliated. You're either part of Bullet Club or you're part of Los Ingambres de la Pon, however the hell you say it. You're, you know, hooked up with the United Empire. You're hooked up with Chaos or whatever. Well, there's still a handful of guys that aren't hooked up with anybody, and they're just called the main roster unit. And they're kind of building their own little alliance where guys that aren't truly affiliated with another faction are joining their own main roster faction. And they're just called New Japan.
Okay. So they're part of that then?
Yeah. Jado, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and GOD.
Okay. So where do you think they fit in this?
Give them FTR.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I don't care what the match is, just give them FTR.
Are they does GOP have any belts right now or no?
GOD does not have any belts currently.
GOD, shit. I keep fucking that up.
Yeah. The guys that currently hold the tag belts are Zack Sabre Jr. and one of the other dudes from his tag, or from Suzuki Gun. I'm drawing a blank. It's the dude that the opera singer guy, and I'm drawing a blank what his name is at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I believe the current champs are over there. But it's been a couple weeks because, like I said, I don't watch New Japan World anymore. It's just all the stuff I see is usually Twitter updates or stuff I see, you know, online essentially. Yeah. Because I'm in the same boat as you. It's like there's so much wrestling. I want to watch it all, but I have to have other parts of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it, man. 100%. Like wrestling is kind of my escape from everything else I do. Really, to be honest.
I have like 3 different escapes. Plus, you know, all the kids got sports and shit too, so we're constantly running around doing that. Yeah, and this is, I'm either doing music, kid stuff, or work, and then this is my one time a week to be a nerd, you know? Right. Yeah, see, I wish I only had 4 things. I got like 8 or 9 things.
Those 4 things consume the shit out of me, though, man.
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine.
But yeah, I don't know, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I think that will be a real pay-per-view too, if I remember correctly.
Good. I might actually have money to purchase this one because I'm not as broke as I was.
Or drive west.
Yeah. Well, you told me last time. I thought you told me last time that you guys weren't going to be there for that one.
Oh, maybe. No. That was for Double or Nothing.
When is Double or Nothing?
Labor. Which one's the last one, Melanie? Memorial Day. Yeah, Memorial Day. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other one's in June, right?
Correct. It's either, so that would make it like 2 weekends from them. No, I believe it's at the end of June, if I remember correctly, in Chicago.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, I could probably make it down for that one.
But yeah, like don't feel obligated. But it'd be cool.
No,
though.
man, I've been wanting to come down that way for a minute, anyways. So now that my knee's better, I want to just go do shit.
Right.
I mean, it's not completely better, but I can definitely go do things. And
Yeah, you can function. Yeah, June 26th, Chicago United Center.
nice. Yeah, maybe we'll do that up then if you're not busy.
I'm looking at this thing online that's talking about just some Bleacher Report dudes projected a card for that show, and here's somebody that brought up that we haven't seen since like November. Miro versus Jeff Cobb as a matchup.
Yeah. Where the fuck is Miro, man? I thought he was off the injured list for a while.
He hasn't wrestled since he lost the TNT title back in November and has not been on TV since.
I bet he comes back and just takes the title back from whoever has it. At this point, that would probably be the best option, I think.
He just recently re-signed too, I believe.
Yeah, he did. He resigned. So
picked up his 1-year option, one of the two. I can't remember which one it was.
I think he resigned, if I remember correctly. But I imagine that he would probably just come. I mean, I imagine they probably should just have him come take the title back from whoever has it. So right now they get Sammy again,
Right.
So that would be just easy. And Sammy's like heel now. And when Miro comes back, he's probably going to be face. Everybody's going to be so happy to see him.
Right.
But there's not going to be an option for him except to be fucking face for a while,
Right.
Because I think everybody's kind of forgot about him. And maybe that's what they're trying to hope for, Right. Like maybe that's what they're hoping for is that people forget about him. So when he comes back, it's a surprise,
Yeah. And I hear you.
Yeah, I mean that'd be ideal, especially if it's like Sammy or Scorpio Sky or whoever the fuck had it last time.
Right. This dude's card's pretty dope. Sorry, I'm looking at this card and it's like,
okay,
like this is kind of dope. Do you want to hear the rest of it?
Yeah, man, if it's good, let's hear it.
Yeah, I'm digging it. So then after Miro, Jeff Cobb, then they have Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, Orange Cassidy, and Toru Yano versus the House of Torture, which is Evil, Show, Yujiro Takahashi, and Dick Togo. I think that's a good Bullet Club versus Chaos match. Then they have they're suggesting a tag team and battle royal fucking thing where like 10 just random tag teams that aren't being used from both shows get thrown into a match and they have a big tag team battle royale. That's kind of like I think a good pick. This person suggested Kenta versus Sammy. You're like,
that might not be too bad, but I think Punk and Kenta has been such a build for so long.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't follow the New Japan stuff as close. So, but maybe that's a sign though, because even I know that Kenta and Punk have been feuding for years, or
right.
That match has been built for years. So maybe that's what needs to happen, but maybe not.
No, I totally. And then this one, I don't know if you know who El Desperado is. He's from Suzuki's group, Suzuki Gun. He's former IWGP tag and junior heavyweight champion, going up against Darby Allin. Just two guys that are just very, very quick fucking wrestlers. Desperado is very fun to watch in the ring. He wrestles very much like the same style as Darby, just a little bit slower.
This pay-per-view will be cool for people like me too, because like it'd get me more probably into the New Japan style if I see I'm working with AEW talent too,
Definitely. This next matchup, I don't really. It's kind of wah. We could have seen it recently. Malachi versus Suzuki. I'm kind of whatever about that match.
Yeah, that is kind of meh.
Yeah, right. It's like Suzuki's been on our TV enough that him versus Malachi doesn't intrigue me at all. A tag match or a 6-man tag with Suzuki in it is where I think he should be. And then FTR versus Guerrillas of Destiny. I was like, as soon as I saw that, and then I was like, okay, I'm on board with this dude's projected card. And then the next match is another one that caught my eye with Keith Lee and Swerve against Shingo Tagagi and Hiromu Takahashi. I think that match would be dope as shit. Shingo's strong enough. Granted, he's only like a 225 pound man, but I think he could suplex or body slam Keith Lee, and I think it would just have a good Andre Hulk Hogan kind of look to it.
Yeah,
but I think very, very entertaining match.
Hey, let me ask you something real quick before we get too far into it.
Yeah.
That just reminded me of something that I heard that kind of made sense to me. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like Keith Lee is kind of like, I don't know, Bubba Ray said this, I think. And I think I kind of agree with him. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like Keith Lee is like just missing something since he left NXT. You know, I feel like even in AEW, he's still kind of just got the same vibe that he had in WWE, you know, where he's like not reaching his full potential somehow, you know? And I don't know, man, how you feel about that, or
I think he was at his best and he blew up that Royal Rumble when he went head to head against Brock.
yeah.
He needs a big body to go fucking head to head and bang with and fucking throw each other around. I don't know if AEW has that guy yet.
Yeah, maybe Wardlow, but that's not going to do either of them any good.
Wardlow's even a genetic freak like Brock, and they need an established name. They need Braun. They need Bray. They need they need something. They need another monster to go up against that monster, and I think that's what Keith Lee is lacking.
Yeah, you're probably right. Actually, you're probably right. But where does he go after he gets that monster? You know, how many? You can't just, you know, he's got to go someplace. You know, I think one thing
from there, I think it depends on how you book that program.
Well, I also think too they're not letting him showcase how athletic he is for being a big guy. He's got like that Kevin Owens thing going.
Yep.
And that's one thing is like I think they should maybe. I mean, I'm with you. Like they need to showcase how much of a monster he is and how powerful he is, but they need to like let him showcase how fucking how talented he is in every other aspect as well.
But he wrestled a 270-pound man. He needs to wrestle Lance. He needs to wrestle Wardlow. He needs to wrestle Billy from 20 years ago. You know, I don't know if Luchasaurus is even strong enough to fucking go up against 340-pound Keith Lee. Like they just don't have the roster for him to go balls out yet, I think.
Yeah.
There's too many 220-pound guys, 220 pounds and lighter that, are they gonna be able to take that bump safely of him doing a moonsault, to the outside or whatever.
I almost feel like too he needs a mouthpiece because that fucker, he cannot talk for shit.
Which is funny because he's so eloquent that he just sounds he's like Luke Harper was, where he sounded too smart.
Yeah,
the way
exactly. No, that's totally totally accurate.
Want him to sound like a dumb hillbilly, and he's like, no, I'm very articulate, and I'm fucking upstate New York. This is the way I talk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'm getting fired too.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, you're right. That's something like I think that he could still sound like not stupid, but sound a little more intense. I don't like the whole like he needs act like you're fucking mad, motherfucker. Yeah. Like you're in a fight.
Heel if he's gonna change that tone, I think, and I think he goes heel when he turns on Swerve. Something happens between them, like they go for gold and they fail getting gold, and he turns on him then, and then they start a program between those two until something else happens. You know what I mean?
You know who he could go with? Samoa Joe, man.
Joe's so injury prone. Do you want Joe taking those bumps?
I guess. I mean, put him out there, man. If he's going to be in there, let's put him out there.
But is Joe going to be able to get him up for the muscle buster? Is he only going to rely on the code whatever the fuck it's code?
I don't know. Maybe not. That's a good point, man. Because I don't know if that might be. But well, fuck. Maybe he goes under to. Well, obviously, maybe it's Joe puts him over.
Right.
Maybe he can't get that muscle buster on, and fucking Keith Lee turns the tables and whoops his ass after that or something.
Right. And they know that for a fact. They're like, he's not going to be able to get you up very well.
I don't think he can.
Let's use that to our advantage.
Yeah, I don't think he can get him up.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's not very safe.
Probably not. No, I mean, but it won't stop them over in AEW from trying it.
But he can do it up against a 180-pound man. I mean, Jay Lethal's he's billed at 202, but he's a 195-pound man, 190-pound man. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Joe's, I think he's billed at 303, but he's probably maybe a 300, 295 pound man. I think he can do that. But Joe, a 300-pound man trying to get up a 6'5", 340-pound man might be tough, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he can muscle bust the little guys. Anaconda Vice, bigger foes. Not Anaconda Vice, but the fucking rear naked choke, whatever the hell it's called. So let me finish out this. Now this is fantasy booking the rest of the way through. Daniel Bryan versus Zack Sabre Jr. in a singles match. Just a technical fucking, violent affair.
Yeah.
This is another one that's kind of meh. Ishii versus Joe, kind of whatever. We could have seen that. Former Inger Noble Andrade El Idolo versus Tetsuya Naito. Both guys were in LIJ at some point, or Los Ingobernables in some way, shape, or form. And Andrade was under the mask as La Sombra, so that's just kind of fantasy booking. Mox and Tanahashi, that's the one I wanted to see, but I think story-wise, with Will Ospreay's in the Blackpool Combat Club and United Empire's better booking for story. And then ending, oh no, there's 2 matches left. I'm sorry. Hangman versus Will Ospreay. I think that's just going to be a very, very beat 'em up match. But I don't think it brings anything to the table. The Golden Elite versus the Undisputed Elite, with Kenny coming back from his injury with the Bucks, going up against Adam Cole and Red Dragon. And then
It's bound to happen at some point, I think, but not at this pay-per-view.
And then we end the show with Okada versus Punk.
Okay.
No Jay White though. Really, I would have booked Jay White in the show somewhere, but whatever.
Jay White and Punk might not be bad.
I think Jay White and Punk would be great.
Yeah, Jay White's one I really like. He's not one I followed too much until he hit AEW, but he's fucking impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of him and Evil of kind of the who's the leader of the Bullet Club kind of thing going on, like they've had in the past. But I think Jay's kind of come in the out, come out as he's still the leader of Bullet Club.
Here's something I just read online. Apparently WWE has been reaching out to FTR to get them to come back.
I heard that was all a crock of shit.
I just read that Dax said it's true.
Dax said it's true?
Yeah, that's what I read anyway. So hold on, let me see.
Because I read the same thing where Dax on Twitter said it's not true. He respects Tony too much to go out and talk contracts.
Well, he said
with somebody else.
He said something like that. He said we didn't need any damage control. Hardwood said, I think both companies are in the business of getting talent, not just any talent. And I think they've seen the wave we've made, especially in the last 8 to 10 months, more so in the last 4 months. So yeah, why wouldn't they put feelers out? Why wouldn't they ask about it?
Yeah, and I think they've contacted FTR, and FTR said we're under contract with AEW. We're not going to talk about it right now.
That's so. But I mean, yeah, WWE's tried to contact them, not FTR's contacted the other way around. But I think the biggest speculation about that is everybody was like, oh, fucking FTR is like so underappreciated. They're so tired of being there because they're just putting over fucking the Bucks and putting over everybody. But obviously there's been a change, and I think there was a lot of shit that happened early on that I didn't like with FTR, but I really like with where they're going now, and I think kind of what happened is Tony's got so much talent there that he probably doesn't want to just like put over every WWE act that comes in right away. You kind of got to pay your dues too, no matter how good you are, just because in some cases, obviously like FTR is not going to be going under to like Private Party, but they're going to have good programs with Jungle Express or fucking the big tag teams that have been around for a minute that are respected,
Yeah, the upper 5 or 6 teams.
But now it's been, a year and a half, 2 years since they've been there, and they're really the crowd also isn't they're not giving up. They're like, no, we want FTR. We don't care if they're heel. We don't care if they're with MJF. We don't care who they're with. So Tony's listening now, and I think that's great, because I don't want to see FTR. We know what's going to happen to FTR if they go back there. They're going to be jobbing out to fucking RK Bro tomorrow,
That or the Usos or New Day.
Yep. Well, fuck, New Day is not doing all that hot right now, I don't think.
with just with the group itself, or
Well, I thought. Well, I guess nah. Well, they jobbed out to
Ridge Holland and Sheamus.
in like fucking 3 minutes or some shit of Mania.
The Mania, yeah.
So I don't know. The New Day, honestly, is somebody I'd like to see go to AEW. I've said this a bunch, I think.
I mean, all of their friends, or at least all of Xavier's friends, are there, with the exception of. No, I think everybody's there. Like, that was part of his main little crew. It was, well, Cesaro's not there, but Cesaro's no longer with the company. But it was Cesaro, Cole, Tyler Breeze, and I feel like there's one more. Anyways, yeah, but that was like his little gaming crew.
It wasn't Miro one of them though, too. Didn't they hang out?
Yeah, they hung out, but there was like a main little crew that was like a 5-man crew that was always on the show. Miro came in every now and again. Same thing with just random other superstars, but there was a main crew. Oh, it was Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was the last one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I mean,
Seth, Cole, Tyler, or not Tyler? Yeah. What the blonde dude?
Tyler
Breeze, Cesaro, and Xavier Woods. That was the crew.
Okay. I wonder where Fandango and Breeze are at these days. Do you know?
Fandango is said he's going to retire at the end of the year. And he's wrestling as Dirty Dango, like in GCW and stuff. Tyler Breeze, I haven't seen shit about.
That's Fandango is super underappreciated, man. Yeah, he was good, man.
Yeah, Dirty Dango is going to retire at the end of the year.
Yeah, I always thought that Fandango would be like a good like if they got rid of that stupid ass gimmick that they had with him, he'd have been good, you know.
What would he have done instead if he didn't?
I don't know. I think he would have been just a good regular guy, you know. Like, I feel like his character would have been good either way, just as a regular dude.
I like the gimmick, even though it was a comedy gimmick.
I really loved him and Tyler Breeze together too. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved that gimmick too, but he was never going to be a champion, maybe a tag champion or something with that gimmick, you know.
But it's tag champs is an afterthought in WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you're born brothers, tag champs are, born out of, we don't know what to do with this guy, but we value this guy.
Honestly, man, that's kind of what they've done. They've done that a few times in AEW too, man, where they've just like, look, they're kind of doing it in a sense with Mox and DB right now.
Yeah. Combat Club is most definitely one, even though, it's kind of storyline driven, but I understand 100% where you're coming from. But most of the teams came in as tag teams that have been tag teams for a long time. Most of the time.
Wasn't Jungle Express built there though, kind of because of that?
They trained together in California, and I think they might have done like 1 or 2 PWG shows, but I don't think they did anything until they were together as Jurassic Express on AEW TV.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I think that Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy were both singles wrestlers in MLW.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
And then
there's a couple PWG shows where they tagged.
Did they talk about where they would put where would you put like a Eddie Kingston's crew in this whole AEW mix? I feel like they belong there someplace.
They didn't say anything about LAX other than being in the tag team turmoil match. They said nothing about Eddie. They said nothing about Eddie Kingston specifically.
It'd be cool is if they did like a chip match in that or in that pay-per-view too. But like, I know they probably wouldn't, but where like anybody could get a shot at the AEW title. Or maybe they could choose whether they go for the New Japan title or the AEW title. And then like anybody could win, Yeah,
I'm 100% on board with that. Where, they take one of the, say an American wins it or AEW guy wins it, he can go wrestle for the IWGP title for, a month tour over in Japan or a 2-month tour in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's cool and worth a look at too.
Yeah, and then that would be a good way to utilize some guys like Eddie Kingston that probably doesn't have a solid spot in that whole outlook, you know?
Right. Or do the old switcheroo thing where the tag turmoil, tournament thing or the battle royale wins them a future IWGP or AEW title. Let's say one of the Japanese teams wins it and they get a future AEW title and they're on AEW TV for a couple of months.
That might be good too, because the tag titles in both of those companies are way more important than other companies. So like that might be a good way to showcase that too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, New Japan has the super tag leagues, and AEW, kind of does their own version of hyping up the tag teams. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they mean more than other companies. That's for sure.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the last thing to talk about, I guess, well, maybe not the last thing. We'll probably go on a tangent, but I mean, I keep my fingers crossed. I mean, Bray Wyatt changed his Twitter handle again and was seen this weekend with the Wyatt family.
Yes, and I saw that picture where they were all looked like they were at a con or whatever.
They looked good. All three of them looked like they were in wrestling shape, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, Eric Rowan kind of looked like Eric Rowan, but
never looks like a but he just looks like a monster. So that's fine. That's all he needs to look like.
Mm-hmm. But Braun looks good, and Bray looks fucking good.
Yeah, other than Braun's corny haircut.
Yeah, well, I guess at that point in time, man, like I don't. That poor guy, he doesn't have good hair, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. What do you feel like is gonna happen there? I mean, you feel like they're still just fucking waiting, or you feel like they're getting close? Because I sent you that link the other day, and we both took that what Bo and Bray's dad was saying on in a different way. So I kind of took it.
I did see another article that I forgot to send to you where it's Bray's asking price for AEW is very high. Was all the article basically said.
Yeah,
he was asking for buco bucks if he's going to come wrestle for AEW, but didn't say anything about any money spec. WWE.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit is if Bray ends up back in WWE.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me at all either. At all.
It really wouldn't surprise me. Right. Vince knows what he's missing.
Yeah. I don't want to see it, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it, and it and Cody would bring me back to WWE to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. And if they gave him the kind of freedom they're giving Cody,
right,
it would be good, but you can tell when they're giving Bray freedom and when they're not.
Right.
You can tell when he doesn't have freedom anymore because his fucking shtick stops being relevant. It sucks. Right. The second they included Alexa Bliss and then took away his freedom to do that how he wanted to. Because when they first got Alexa there, it was cool. Mm-hmm. And then it just went to shit because they had to put their grubby little hands on it,
I wish it just would have stayed the way it is, like minus Alexa. But I understand where you're coming from early on when it was good with Alexa. But I think the introduction of her is where things went south, even though it was good.
I think that it was pretty good at the very beginning, but it didn't take long. And that's because the second you put a hot woman in shit, they're we can do this. We can sell these Lily dolls. We can sell, this or that. We can fucking.
It's profit on merchandising, and it's not stupid business. It's just shitty wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is kind of shitty business because now there's not even a Fiend. There's not a Bray Wyatt there. How much money are they missing out on fucking sales right now? Like he was outselling Roman for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe they thought they could make more money with the Lily dolls. I don't know.
Yeah, so it is bad business because they don't have him at all now. And they took his fucking character that he came up with and gave it to somebody else. Like, what kind of shit is that? Right. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? I'd be pissed too. So, but maybe he's just proven a point. And once Vince isn't stupid. If he gave Cody that money, he'll give Bray that money eventually. Probably just waiting for Bray to go out and run around, do what he's doing, and finish up. And either Tony will give him the money or Vince will. And maybe
Bray hasn't been on the indie circuit, so he hasn't been like really putting his name back out there. You know what I mean? So maybe. I don't know if Vince has been like, well, you haven't done anything for me, so blah 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 blah. And, and he left on WWE on bad terms, I guess. There was some some psychological stuff that went on. I don't know the specifics of it, but I guess it was not good terms where Bray. Yeah, he just left on bad terms. I don't know the specifics. I just know he had a breakdown of some sort or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was a piss because they fucked his shit up, and he was being a pain in the ass. And there's some other stuff too. I heard like he wouldn't get into shape, which has always been like a thing I've heard about like him. But the weird thing about Bray, man, is like when you see him in regular pictures, he looks jacked up, but the second you put him in a ring, he looks like a fucking sloth, kind of,
Right.
It's so odd that he can look so fucking jacked up in regular pictures.
Yeah,
but
like
maybe
maybe
you put him in a ring.
He needs to wear a weight belt or something to suck his gut in it.
Yeah, maybe that's it, because you can just see that gut more when he's got the spandex on it or whatever,
Well, in the gym, he has a weight belt on.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he's got a baggy t-shirt on when he's out in
Right.
public. So it's covering it all up.
Which is the way KO wrestles. He wrestles with a baggy t-shirt so you can't see he's a chubbier dude.
Yeah. That's probably a little harder not for Bray's character from like back in the day, but
No, when he the southern dude with the freaking Hawaiian shirts on.
yeah. He's had two great characters that he's put over. Like both of those characters are great.
Even in the Wyatt family, man. He's been fucking phenomenal in what he's done. He's a great character developer.
Yeah, I missed the Wyatt family at times too. Just that whole thing,
that was what got me back. I mean, hell, I named my fucking kid after Bray Wyatt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what got me back into loving wrestling was the Wyatt family character. Like Landon dressed up as Bray Wyatt at fucking Halloween and named my fucking kid after him. It was like it's the only WWE shirt I've purchased since getting back into wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Bray Wyatt, man. I'd love to see him.
Yeah, makes two of us.
I hope he doesn't just end up sitting on the shelf like Punk for a while, because he doesn't like I don't think he's got the clout that Punk has.
No, I don't at all.
So he needs to get back, like you said, he needs to get back at it in some sense soon. Either drop his price so Tony can afford him, or maybe not. Maybe Tony will give him the money. Do you think, you think Tony should give him the money over Cody? You think that Bray would bring it in more than Cody? You think Bray's worth like a Punk or DB money?
Yeah, I think so because Cody was not over with the AEW crowd for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I think Bray's worth every bit of every penny that he gave to Bray or gave to Punk and Bryan.
Right.
People will lose their shit if Bray hits that fucking ring sometime,
Right. Yeah, no, agreed.
But maybe I don't know. I mean, I feel like Tony Khan's got the money. He should just do it.
Yeah,
but that should be his last big purchase though, for a while. Unless like maybe and it won't ever happen, but like a Rollins or a Orton comes on the market or Cody gets over and comes back, Yeah. But for a long time, it should be his last big purchase. He should just give that money to Bray.
Yeah, agreed.
But we're both pretty big Bray fans.
What's that?
We're both pretty big Bray fans.
Yeah. So we're a little biased, obviously.
And also too, like, that like if you bring them in, you got to bring Rowan and fucking
and Braun.
And then Braun's going to be a dick probably,
But he's wrestling at Control Your Narrative, so hopefully it's humbled him a bit.
Maybe, but I still see him thinking he's worth a little more. So hopefully that's not holding shit up, because I know Eric Rowan would probably just be happy to be there,
Agreed.
So, and I almost feel like Rowan and them are working together somehow anyways.
Right.
Because he's been popping in and out,
a few times or whatever.
Yeah. So they've probably had some conversations at some point,
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Well, shit, man, I don't have too much more, dude. And we're getting towards the end, and it was just kind of a slow couple weeks. I imagine with this new pay-per-view and with how things are going, that the next couple weeks will probably be hotter.
Yeah, WrestleMania Backlash coming next month, and AEW Double or Nothing coming next month. Yeah, I think it'll pick up in the next couple weeks or so.
Yeah, I imagine even if it's a little slow on the next one, we'll still have more to talk about.
Right.
All right, buddy. Well, I'll let you go.
Okay. You enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
All right, later, buddy.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.